6 o'clock, right on the dot. My name is not Eric. It's Rodney. His name is Eric. And Eric, I'm going to ask you how you're doing in a second, but first, I want to do a quick wardrobe change. I just have to put my shirt on. I have to.
Represent.
Just real fast. I'm taking my headphones out. I can't hear anything. I just have to put this on. Oh, just another day in the life of a Utah Jazz fan. Put my head in the wrong hole.
Yep.
Just got to throw this on. Oh, that's beautiful.
Represent Utah, baby.
Oh.
No
okay,
need to flex like that.
That's enough.
Week 2. Welcome back, everyone. Let's get it.
Let's get it. For those of you who don't know, this is Thursday Night Quarterback with myself and my friend Eric. Talk about some football topics. If there's breaking news or whatever, we'll touch upon those. But for right now, this video is going to be ranking every single quarterback in the National Football League from 32 to 1. For some of these, we had to actually make predictions as to who was going to start, like in Houston. Or some of us tried to make predictions. We'll get to that in a second. As you can see in the ticker below, the comments, all of them that you guys throw in there will be shown on the screen. The donations will be read aloud. So, listen, buddy, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Are you excited?
Very.
I saw your whole list. I know exactly how it is laid out here. I'm excited to get into this.
Let's get it. I'm ready to
go.
You.
We're going to start right now with 32 and 31 because it's just hilarious. My 32 is Cam Newton and then Jalen Hurts, and then yours is Texas quarterback ? And Andy Dalton.
No idea who. Who's it going to be? I have no idea.
Okay, well here's the three options. You have Deshaun Watson. You have Tyrod Taylor or Davis Mills, the Stanford guy.
I guess Tyrod Taylor, if I had to choose one, I mean, he's like a vet quarterback. That's like a 4-win season.
Listen, I don't want to get into all the Deshaun Watson stuff. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a law expert. All I do know is I'm fairly confident that Deshaun Watson is not going to be playing at least for week 1. So, I guess it's not a spoiler to say because if it was Davis Mills, he'd be 32 for me. I think it's going to be Tyrod Taylor. So we'll get to that in a second. What are your thoughts on me having Newton dead last?
I can't argue with it. Last year, I thought he was going to do really well. Then he fell apart. He got benched a few times, and I don't know what to expect with him. I think you have him like low 20s.
Yeah.
But I just have.
He got benched a few times. That's tough.
I just have high hopes for him. I like him as a player. I like his work ethic, so I give him a little extra credit. But Jalen Hurts, why do you have him so high? 31.
Why do I have him so? Why do I have Jalen Hurts so high?
Yeah.
That's not. Oh, you mean okay?
No.
So I'm saying I'm considering that low. Yeah.
No.
Well, because I don't know. He didn't do that much last year. He was okay, but he might as well be a rookie going into this year, and their team's not going to be very good. So I think that's probably where he's going to end up anyway.
Yeah.
I like some of the rookies coming out this year more than I like him. So there's not much wiggle room for him.
Well, I could agree with that. I just don't know what to expect from some rookies. Like I saw what he did last year. He gave the Eagles a spark, gave them some wins. Like,
do you remember when the Eagles just threw that last game of the year for no reason? That was hilarious.
Let's not talk about that. That was crazy. And then they traded back in the draft anyway. They moved back. Like, okay, are you serious?
Doug Peterson was like, "Oh, it's going to work. It's going to be great. It's going to be
get
fired." Okay, 31 and 32. Nothing really to say there.
Yeah,
okay, let's go. 30 to 26. I have Dalton at 30. You had him at what? 31. Then I have Locke, Tua, Tyrod, and Daniel Jones. You have Bridgewater, Zach Wilson, Jalen Hurts, Sam Darnold, and Tua. The first interesting thing here is that we have two different people as the quarterback for the Denver Broncos. So give me your pitch for Bridgewater.
All right. Well, I just want to say I think Teddy Bridgewater should start, but is he probably going to start? No. But if you look at his numbers last year and what he produced on the Panthers, they were pretty good. He had, I think, over or almost 4,000 pass yards. He had over 20 pass touchdowns. His numbers are pretty good compared to Drew Lock. Drew Lock's god awful.
Teddy Bridgewater last year, 3,700 yards, 15 touchdowns, 11 interceptions.
Not bad. I mean, I don't know how many games did he play. I know he didn't play the last 5.
Yeah, he didn't play. Drew Lock, 3,000 yards, 16 touchdowns, 15 interceptions. Yeah, I mean, I feel like he's
better.
yeah, I know. I think Drew Lock. I mean, either way, it's sort of irrelevant if they trade because let's be honest, they want to trade for Aaron Rodgers. They're probably trying every day of the week.
Right now, if I would choose one, I would choose Bridgewater.
Yeah, I think Bridgewater's better. Don't get me wrong. I just think for some reason they're in on Drew Lock because they used a first round pick on them or whatever.
So, do you think if they don't trade for Rodgers, like maybe week 4 or 5, Bridgewater will get a start? If they do poorly,
yeah, probably. It's either it's going to be one or the other. Bridgewater gets the starting role, then Lock takes over, or vice versa, depending on how good or bad they do. Okay, what else do I want to talk about here? We have Tua basically close to the same spot. Oh, Darnold. Okay, you got Darnold at 27. I think that's a little low for Sam. I think sometimes he does good things with absolutely nothing in New York. No, you don't agree?
Yeah, I could. He does something little, but the last couple of years I didn't see too much of him, and I don't really like his playing style. I guess I don't know because the way if I'm comparing it with his years on the Jets, then I'm just counting that over to a new team, which I guess is not fair. But like he didn't give too much. His stats aren't the best. He had a lot of turnovers.
What was Sam Darnold's stats last year? Sam Darnold's stats. Sam Darnold.
They had what? 4 wins last year, 2 wins.
Did he not play a lot of games? No, I guess he didn't. Huh? Okay. Yeah, he wasn't that good last year either. I'm giving him the slight benefit of the doubt just because New York is just a god awful. Yeah. But other than that, Jalen Hurts at 28. That's not that bad. Zach Wilson pretty low for me, but he's a rookie. We don't know, and he's in New York too. We don't know what we're gonna get. I haven't seen Daniel Jones yet. That's a little home cooking from you. I understand that. So I think similarly to Darnold, hasn't had much to work with, but he showed enough that I think he's at least better than like Tyrod Taylor or Drew Lock.
What do you expect from Tua this year?
I don't know, man. I expect him to be better than he was last year, but it kind of scared me at times when they were like, "Okay, we want to win this game. Let's throw in Fitzpatrick." It scared me. Like as soon as Fitzpatrick came in the Raider game, I knew we lost.
Do you think they did that because he was like a vet QB and they didn't want like a rookie pressure or something like that?
I guess, but like how many times are you going to do that before it's getting really weird?
Who's the backup?
Say that again?
Who's the Dolphins' backup?
That's a good question.
Well, they can't do that if they don't have a vet quarterback like Fitzpatrick. They can't just throw someone in there.
You're right. Let's go.
I expect a lot more out of him.
Miami Dolphins. Tua, and then okay, it's Jacoby Brissette. That's interesting.
Bad. Could be worse.
I really think I truly think that before all the Deshaun Watson stuff happened, he was going to end up in Miami. And they would have traded, and then they would have traded Tua and like 3 first-round picks. The picks that they got for Laramie Tunsil, they would have just given right back.
That's crazy.
But again, this is splitting hairs with not great quarterbacks, so it doesn't much matter. So let's go to 20. Anything else you want to talk about with this group before I go to 25 to 21?
No, I'm good.
Okay, 25 to 21. I got Zach Wilson, Trevor Lawrence, Jameis, Darnold that's where he shows it for me, and then Wentz. You have Cam. Yikes, way too high. Jimmy G, Daniel Jones, Jameis, Fitzpatrick. I forgot to take Ryan out there. My bad. A low for Jimmy G, plummeting to 24. What are your thoughts on Jimmy G?
Hold on, I'm just looking at your list.
Okay.
We basically got Winston at the same time. He's so high for me because,
Low.
well, yeah, low because he might not start mid-year. Like, who knows what's gonna happen? So, like, I don't know what to expect from him. 2, he's injury prone. He gets hurt every freaking game.
Mm-hmm.
3,
yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead, no, you go.
Oh, I was just gonna say full disclosure. I don't have him much higher than you. He's about to show up in 16 to 20. I just thought it was interesting. You have him so low.
If he stays healthy, he's pretty good, I guess. But he also gets bailed out by the run game
and the defense.
Well, yeah, that's true.
Well, here's the thing. Here's my whole thought process on where you have Jimmy. I think the gap between Cam Newton and Jimmy G is pretty massive. I wouldn't have them right next to each other. With that being said, I don't think either of them are going to scare opposing defenses. And they both can't stay healthy. But
yeah.
Jameis, you have him at 22. I have him at 23. I think that's the closest we've gotten there with the highest we have people up on the list.
Lawrence at what, 24?
Say it again.
Trevor Lawrence at 24.
I have Lawrence at 24. Zach Wilson at 25. Yeah. You didn't throw. I'm just looking ahead here. Okay, yeah, Lawrence is coming up for you. Yeah, I think he's already probably better than a handful of quarterbacks that are going to start, like Drew Lock or Tyrod Taylor. I think he's going to have a really good year. They're not going to win many games, but he's going to show like flashes of greatness or whatever you want to say. That's a good time for us to both take a sip of water. Wentz, I don't know. I have no idea what Wentz is going to do.
Me neither. He's a top. He could be MVP Wentz or last year Wentz.
And we go to 20 to 16. Now you have Wentz at 19. I had him at 21. For the sake of the Raiders' playoff chances, I hope that he stinks. So I could just eliminate the Colts completely because I didn't think they were going to do that well with Phillip Rivers. God, I was wrong. Their roster is sick, and all they need is a good quarterback. And if Wentz snaps out of his comatose, look out for the Colts. You have Goff at 20, Wentz at 19, Lawrence at 18, Mayfield at 17, Burrow at 16. We're starting to get some overlap here. I also have Burrow at 16, Big Ben at 17, probably a little low for your liking. Although you have him at 15 coming up. I have Goff at 18, Jimmy G at 19.
Where do you have Baker?
It's a good question. Where do I have Baker? You haven't seen him yet, have you?
You're a Baker hater, and wow, I'm shocked.
Talk to me about Baker Mayfield.
I was looking over his numbers last year.
He had 3,500 yards, 26 touchdowns, and interceptions.
How many?
8 interceptions.
8?
Yep.
I just think with the weapons he has, his numbers should be a lot higher. He should be in the talk about a top 5 quarterback with his offense, and especially how the run game opens up the pass offense so much. The Browns have the top 5 running offense in the whole league, and he doesn't produce much. And I don't know, I watched some games, I'm like, that was a bad pass, or why did you throw that? He just makes really bad, like, rookie decisions that he shouldn't be making 4 years in.
Yeah, I think you're 10,000% correct. I'm not a huge fan of Baker Mayfield. I think you could maybe win a Super Bowl with him if you have the right roster around him, and the Browns are trending in that direction. But I think to the point of why doesn't he produce more, it's because the Browns have, like you said, a top 5 rushing attack. He just hands the ball off, play action. Hands the ball off, hands the ball.
He has such a low interception. Like, the amount he has is only 8. If they didn't have such a good run game, that would be maybe 16.
I mean, I think you could argue that he'd have more touchdowns and more interceptions.
Yeah, well, obviously, because
and the reason why, and do you want to talk about anybody else on this? Oh, well, actually, yeah, we'll go back to Baker because he's coming up in a second. But Jared Goff,
yeah,
yikes.
If he was still in Los Angeles, he'll be higher for me. But since he left there, and Detroit literally has nobody. He's going to drop off big time. His numbers are going to be nowhere near the same. I just
can't believe 3 years ago, he was in the Super Bowl.
Yeah. And now people are going to forget about him and be like, oh, wow, I forgot about him. Oh, I forgot he went to the Lions because he's going to play so bad.
In my personal opinion, I don't think the Rams gave up on him too fast. However, I do think that Stafford is a massive upgrade. I think Stafford puts them into Super Bowl, like top 5 teams in the league, Super Bowl
100%. 100%.
So I understand the move. I was shocked about how fast it was like Jared Goff Super Bowl. Actually, no, he's in Detroit.
I mean, I think Los Angeles is a win-now team, and I think they needed a quarterback. They have a great defense. They have good receivers. They have a good running back, good young running back. And I think they were like, a quarterback is the piece we need to win the Super Bowl. Like, Goff had 3 points in the Super Bowl. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. But then somehow with one hand, he goes into Seattle and beats the Seahawks last year.
Well,
and that's why you don't bet on football games. 15-11. Here's where things get super interesting. You have Big Ben at 15, Herbert at 14, Cousins at 13, Matt Ryan at 12, and Dak at 11. I have Dak at 11 too. We both got Herbert and Cousins right around the same place, Matt Ryan, but there's why I have Baker. I got Baker at 14. You had him at 17. I think by the time it's all said and done, Burrow hops Baker. But for right now, I don't know how healthy he is.
Yep.
That's really my only concern because their offense is loaded. The Bengals are going to be sweet next year. Just got to protect him. And I think Burrow definitely jumps Baker. But Baker had a decent year, and I had to reward him for it, you know? Dak, we both have bouncing back at 11. Let's just do this. Dak Prescott stats. Before he got hurt, he was like going to win the MVP, and it wasn't even close. What did he play? 3 games?
3
How
or
many games
4?
Let's see. He played last year. He played 5 games, but he got hurt in the 5th game. So we'll say 4.5. Okay. He had almost 2,000 yards with 9 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. That's crazy.
Yeah, but he had 4 interceptions in 4 games. Like, that's not good.
Yeah, but if you remember, he was throwing like 50 passes a game. He was carrying.
He's not in my top 10 because his numbers were so high because he threw so many passes. If any other quarterback threw 50 passes a game, like the top 10 quarterbacks threw 50 passes a game for 4 games, their numbers are going to be outrageous too. You know what I mean?
I agree.
I do not think he deserves $40 million a year.
Oh, you want to get into the contract? Let's pull it up.
No, not even close.
Dak Prescott. Oh, yikes. This is a 4-year, $160 million. That's 40 a year for those math heads out there.
That's $10 million less than the best quarterback in the league from the last couple of years. That's only $10 million less. And with that contract, that puts him as what? I think number 2 behind Rodgers, Wilson, and quarterbacks way better than him. And I think the Cowboys just did that to shut him up.
Well, I mean, it's just the quarterback market gets reset. At one point in time, Derek Carr was the highest paid quarterback in the league, and now the Raiders have him at a bargain, and his contract didn't change at all. So I'm interested, and not to harp on Derek Carr. We'll get to him in a second here with our next few, but I'm interested to see when he signs his extension how much it's going to be. Is it going to be more than that? It should be if we're doing it based on talent, but I don't think it will be.
Yeah, it also depends like how many years he gets.
Probably like 4, 5. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
Herbert, we have 12 and 14. I think there's a chance he could leapfrog into the top 10.
I was going to say, will he be a top 10 quarterback at the end of the year?
I mean, we could. Okay, you want to do the Josh Allen thing because last year,
that boy
let me just pull up the audio here because I don't want to play the video. I don't know if it'll get us taken down, but I have the audio here. You know I have to do this. You know I have to. This is last year.
He almost beat Deshaun Watson in his first ever playoff game. But he did it. I'm sick. At the
end of the season, Allen's top 10 quarterback.
Are you asking me or are you telling me?
I'm asking you.
Yes. Yes.
He was.
$10 he's not.
He was.
First MVP candidate.
$10 he's not a top 10 quarterback. I
I'm-
owe you $10.
Yeah, you're damn right. You owe me $10. 10 whole ones.
Yeah, you were spot on, dead on bullseye.
Dark horse MVP. Now, Justin Herbert. Does he leapfrog into the top 10, become the Josh Allen of 2021? Yes or no?
Yes.
Oh, you think he becomes dark horse MVP candidate? Like that good?
Look at his numbers last year.
I mean, yeah, he balled out.
He went off. He went crazy. He's a stud.
66% completion, 4,300 yards, 31 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, and I'm pretty sure 14 games. Yikes.
Yeah. Now give him 3 more games this year. Give him 3 more.
Okay. I'll see your 3 more games, and I'll raise you a full year of film that defenses have to try and stop them. Because Mahomes' first year, he threw 50 touchdowns. The next year, he threw 25. So, I think
25. That big of a difference?
I'm pretty sure it was like 50 to 25. Let me double check that. No, not last year. His
2 years ago.
Yeah, 2 years.
Okay.
But my point being, as I look at the Patrick Mahomes stuff here, yeah, 2019, 26 touchdowns.
That's a bad year for him. Damn.
But my point being, I think he takes a step back, but I think the Chargers maybe sneak into the playoffs. So we're gonna look at his season as he had a better season than he did his rookie year because they won 5 games.
Yeah.
But if he throws for more yards or has more 4,700 yards, 29 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, and he has 4 rushing touchdowns, that's going to be a worse year. But I think he's going to be very good next year. He's not going to be in the MVP conversation. But I don't
conversation, but I think he's gonna be like the 8, 9, 10 spot. Like coming into the year, gonna be like, yeah, you can make a debate for 8, 9, or 10.
Okay, so let's talk about 10 to 6. Here we go. You have Derek Carr at 10, Murray at 9, Tannehill at 8, Brady at 7, Stafford at 6. I have Stafford at 10. These are all the same quarterbacks. We just have them in a different order. Okay, a couple things I want to talk about here. If Herbert hops into the top 10, let's say he's 10, who hops out?
Brady.
Wow, I thought you were going to say Carr without a doubt.
No.
You would never.
He's been so consistent for the last couple of years. He's in that mark, 8, 9, 10, 11. He's just
okay.
He's there.
So you say Brady. This is his last year where he's decent.
He had how many touchdowns last year? Like 40, right? I don't think he's going to throw 40 more this year.
Yeah. Both have Kyler at 9. Kyler had a good year last year. They just didn't win a whole lot of games. That D-Hop helped them a lot, but you still got to make the plays, and he did very well. Stafford, I have him at 10. You have him at 6. Here's the thing about all the guys on this list: you can win a Super Bowl with all of these guys. Like, these are all really good quarterbacks. I think you are just splitting hairs at this point. I am shocked you have Tannehill as high as you do. I am dumbfounded. I think you're the biggest Ryan Tannehill hater I know, and you have him at 8. Explain yourself.
His QBR last year was like top 5. He was insane.
You don't say. I thought he just handed the ball off to Derrick Henry. I thought he was.
Well, he did do that. He over 2,000 rushing yards. He did.
Yeah, but guess what? You looked up his stats and you were like, Jesus, I didn't know he was that good.
He's efficient.
Yeah, he was very good, and he deserves to be up.
Damn.
Yeah, exactly. Derek Carr, I have him at 8. You have him at 10.
Also, Stafford will be in the MVP voting this year.
10,000%. 10,000%. He will receive MVP.
People are going to be like, wait, that's Stafford? Because no one realizes his talent in Detroit. No one pays attention. Everyone's going to be like, when did Stafford become so good? It'd be like, he was always that good. Now he has weapons of defense, and I can't wait for him to produce the numbers he's going to put up. I'm so excited.
If he stays healthy, that stadium is going to be electric. He's going to be throwing the ball all over the field to Cooper Kupp, to Robert Woods. It's going to be insane. It's going to be insane.
It's going to be crazy. I can't wait. I'm so excited. Let's go Stafford.
Let's go Stafford. I'm not going to give away my Super Bowl predictions yet because we'll do that at some point. But I am considering the Rams to come out of the NFC.
100%. Me too.
Super excited. Okay, here we go. 5-1 here. What do you think? I want to hear your predictions. Do you think? Where do you think I have? Let's hear what you think is my 5-1. Go ahead.
You got. You want me to do 5 first?
Yeah.
Lamar 5.
I'm not gonna tell you. Just guess. I'm gonna just.
4 is Russell. 3 is Allen. 2 is Mahomes. 1 is Rodgers.
Okay, so I'll just read off your 5. Your 5 is Lamar at 5, Allen at 4, Russ at 3, Rodgers at 2, and Mahomes at 1.
Correct.
Okay. So you think I have Rodgers at 1, Mahomes at 2. You think I have Lamar at 5, Russ at 4, and Allen at 3.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? We have the same exact top 5.
You there's no way it's gonna be the same.
I think this was the easiest part of the whole list for me.
Well, yeah. The only reason why I have Lamar at 5 is because his rushing game is absurd.
Yeah, he's electric. He can't really throw the football, but it doesn't matter. He is a great football player. He's not a great quarterback.
Yeah.
But he's a great football player, and you have to respect him. Listen, I love Josh. Okay, Josh is Jax. If you don't know what I'm talking about, look it up. I own a box. But I'm a realist, okay? He's not better than Russ or Rodgers or Mahomes. Talk to me when the season's over, and we'll see if I change my mind. He could drop a little. He could go up, but I think 4 is a good spot for him.
Depending where Rodgers ends up, I think Allen could pass Wilson because, he's, slowly declining. He's, running the ball a lot less, and he's becoming more of a pocket passer.
Which is tough in Seattle with no offensive line.
That's what I was going to say. And they have no offensive line. His numbers are slowly decreasing. So I think Allen could jump Russ. And then depending where Rodgers ends up, he could jump him too at the end of the year.
Yeah. Do we want to do, because this is a successful unveiling of our list here, do we want to do real fast who is going to make the biggest jump from the lowish tier, so we could talk about 20 to 16 or 21 to 25. Anyone in this range that's going to just skyrocket, probably like we had Herbert last year. We probably had Herbert, and we didn't even have Herbert on the list because he wasn't starting.
I'm either going to go with one of the rookies, or if Burrow stays healthy and the O-line produces, he could jump.
I think it's Herbert or Burrow.
Yeah.
Herbert could be, realistically, if he plays the way he did last year, he could be top 5. Burrow could be top 10.
Where do if Julio's gone, Julio leaves Atlanta. Where's Matt Ryan?
Oh, he plummets.
So what? Bottom 5?
I have Matt Ryan. We both have him in this range, 11 to 15. He'll drop to 26 to 30.
That's crazy.
Or 20, he'll be 21 to 30. He'll be in this group.
Yeah. How much does Kyle Pitts affect that offense for Ryan?
Well, I mean, if he is as good as people say, then he will affect it strongly. But it just depends on if he stays healthy, if the offensive line can protect him, because he can't run around. He just can't. Biggest faller could be Goff, could be Matt Ryan. Jimmy G, if he gets his job taken. Big Ben, if he has a bad injury. Yep. There's a lot of moving parts here. This is pretty set in stone for me, I think.
The top 5 was easy.
That was really easy to do. It was pretty crazy that this is the first year we had to do one of these things, as if we've been doing this for a while, without Drew Brees.
I know. Even if he was in it, he's 14.
He's 15. He's 15. Yeah.
Yeah, 14, 15.
Okay, buddy. This is fun. Anything you want to touch upon before we get out of here?
That last comment you put up. Can we talk about that for 2 minutes?
What, about how Mahomes is a product of the Chiefs?
Yeah.
You agree or disagree?
I kind of agree with that.
Okay. Talk to me. Why?
Because he has a strong arm,
okay.
and the receivers are really, really fast, so they throw the ball deep a lot. And like even though he does like some crazy plays and all this, I feel like if you put him on like not such
Put him on the Chargers. Put Herbert on the Chiefs.
Yeah, Herbert's putting up either the same or better numbers than what he does. You know what I mean? Like,
Well,
it seems that quarterback like, oh, Rodgers makes the receivers better, Brady makes the receivers better, or like which one is it? I mean, it's so hard to tell because he has such a great talent, but his receivers are also either wide open or like the receivers, and Travis Kelce too. He produces a lot.
Well, here's the thing about Mahomes. His numbers his first year were otherworldly. Like he hit people in the mouth. People didn't know was coming besides Louis Riddick. Louis Riddick was like, "Watch out," and we were like, "Okay, let's see what happens." And then since then, 26 touchdowns, and then last year he had like 30. Really, really good, great,
Right?
but not like he didn't win the MVP since that 50 touchdown season.
Yeah.
So there is an instance of him of coming back down to earth. And if you throw him on a different team, I think he's still really good. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
He's not what he is without Andy Reid. Andy Reid isn't what he is without Patrick Mahomes. It's like the Brady and the Belichick thing. And you could say, but look, Brady did it on a different team. Yeah, he did it on a way better team than he's ever been on in his entire life.
Yeah,
that team is ridiculous. Nobody was thinking about Tampa Bay when it came to Brady. And then when he went there, people were like, oh, actually, that makes perfect sense.
You're like, oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. It makes total sense. And then they end up winning the Super Bowl and beating Mahomes. Mahomes couldn't do anything in that game.
No.
Didn't matter what the system was. So, yeah, you might have a point there with Mahomes being a product of the system, but I think a lot of people, most quarterbacks are. I think there are very few that can – like I think Aaron Rodgers goes anywhere and just fits it in the window. He's the most accurate quarterback ever of all time.
Yeah, the window seat.
So he doesn't need his receivers to have much separation. A lot of what Mahomes does is yards after the catch, but that's a lot of quarterbacks in the league.
Like the argument I would make is like look at the receivers like Rodgers had or Breeze had. Like, yes, he had some good receivers. They had good receivers, but like some quarterbacks have like one of the best receivers of all time. Like Mahomes, he is such a great offense like around him.
And he has probably the greatest offensive mind of our generation in Andy Reid to call these insane plays that nobody can stop. Yeah, you get a point there. All I know is that you definitely owe me $10 because I was dead on about Josh Allen.
Yeah, I'll send you that.
Okay, or you want to go double or nothing?
On what?
I don't know. You want to think of something? You want to make a bold prediction, and I'll take the other side of it.
Give me a week to think about it, and next week I'll come up with something.
Okay, next week you come up with a bold prediction. I will have to take the opposite side of it. And
just on quarterbacks?
Just on quarterbacks.
Okay.
And then we'll go from there.
All right.
This has been great. Thank you guys so much for watching.
Thank you.
I just want to do this one more time.
I wish I had one. I would be doing it with you.
I just want to do this. Well, you're not a Jazz fan. I'm a Jazz fan. I've been since the beginning. And now we're here. Please be sure to subscribe. It is free out on the church.